Today, we are looking at how gaslighting can show up in your actual relationships. It doesn't always look like a grand manipulation. Sometimes it just feels like confusion, like you're constantly second guessing yourself, but you can't quite explain why. And while we often associate gaslighting with romantic relationships, it can show up anywhere at work, with friends, in families. Anywhere there is emotional closeness and repeated interaction, gaslighting can hide in plain sight. Let's look at some examples of how this may manifest. At work, you're told, I never gave you that instruction. You must have misunderstood. You always get confused. Or you're falling behind and blaming the team, just like last time. Or you're always so disorganized. I told you 3 times when this was due, but you clearly don't care. Suddenly, a professional error isn't a mistake, it's a character flaw. You start to wonder, am I actually incapable of this role? In your social circle, maybe you call out a hurtful comment and get told, I was just kidding, why are you so sensitive? Or, you're overreacting again. When you try to plan something, they say, you always mess up the schedule. You should let others organize. In close relationships or family, it may look like, you sound insane, you're making stuff up. Or, I didn't ignore you, you're just needy. Or, you made me act that way. Or the classic, that never happened, you've always had a wild imagination. Notice the common thread. In each of these scenarios, your experience is denied, your emotions are dismissed, your credibility is attacked. And now, instead of addressing the issue, you are defending your sanity. Individually, they may seem small, but repeated over time, they create a cycle of confusion, self doubt, and dependence. You stop trusting your own perception and start wondering, maybe I did misunderstand. Maybe I am overreacting. Maybe I am the problem. Gaslighting thrives in relationships because of one thing, trust. You naturally give more weight to the opinions of people close to you. So when they repeatedly question your reality, you start questioning it too. It is important to understand the why. Not everyone who gaslights is doing it consciously. Often, they are operating out of deep seated insecurity or narcissistic tendencies. They use control to feel safe. By making you doubt your judgment, they become the authority in the relationship. But here's the kicker, understanding their trauma is not an excuse to validate your own mistreatment. You are not a facilitator for their personal growth at the expense of your own mental well being. Because, regardless of the reason, the impact is the same. You lose trust in yourself. What to do if you notice this pattern? First, don't panic. Just become aware. Look for repetition. One off comments happen, but a consistent pattern of confusion and self doubt is a red flag. That's what you need to pay attention to. If you see it, your first instinct might be to argue to prove you're right. Don't. You cannot use reason with someone who uses denial as a weapon. Arguing only gives them more opportunities to twist your words. Set simple boundaries. You don't need long explanations. Even something like, that's not how I experienced it, or I don't agree with that, is enough to hold your ground. Get perspective from trusted allies or professionals. When you are inside the fog, it's easy to get pulled into the confusion. An outside perspective helps you recalibrate. If you choose to stay in the relationship, you need clear, non negotiable rules. If the pattern continues, you must be prepared to create distance to protect your mental space. You don't have to stay in dynamics that make you question your sanity. We are human. We all have off days. We all misremember things or snap at people we love. But there is a massive difference between a human mistake and a recurring pattern of demeaning and labeling. Kindness allows for a second chance, but wisdom recognizes a toxic cycle. You are allowed to believe the evidence of your own ears and your own memory. A healthy relationship includes disagreements and different perspectives, but it never invalidates your experience or makes you question your reality. In a healthy dynamic, you feel understood and respected, whereas in a gaslighting dynamic, you feel dismissed and confused. Don't ignore the pattern. Protect your reality because it is your truth. Thanks for watching.